I don't know why, but yes.
Why not?
Why not? I know, right? Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm doing my best, trying not to sparkle right now. So, yeah. Hey, welcome everyone. We're going to be getting into some spoilers, well, leaked ones, and then the show starts, I believe, at 10. So I kind of have that queued up, ready to go. They want to stream on Twitch first, so we're going to get on to that. Welcome, Robert. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Here at work, just chilling.
Nice. Hey, speaking of hard at work, Anger Collections, how are you doing, buddy? Did you hear me? Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
It's still lagging, man. But yeah, I'm over here, man. I'm right here.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was saying you've been hard at work, bro, slinging those singles, man.
Yo, it's lagging over here, man. But I'm over here. I'm alive.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
It's still kind of like I might jump in like and use the other one.
Okay.
But I can kind of hear you, but it's kind of weird.
Gotcha. Am I clipping or something?
I'll be right back, okay?
Okay. Sounds good, bud. I'm going to close down some extra windows to hopefully avoid some of that. All right. Hey, Tortoise, how you doing, bud?
Doing pretty good. How are you? Are you excited for these fresh print spoilers?
I'm ready for some Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and here's a little something for you, bud.
Super fast.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, we haven't heard this one in a while, and I forgot last stream. I'm sorry, SolarGod. We got to get you that clip that definitely wasn't made by Tortoise.
SolarGod.
It's still my favorite.
That's neat.
And good morning to everyone. We'll start you off with some Coral, and let's get into these spoilers.
Carl! 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 Carl!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Cosmic, what's up, man? How you doing? Hillbilly, good to see you, buddy. You know, you did send me those clips, man. I'm gonna try to have it ready by tonight, dude. Ah, God. K Torque, what's up, man? How you doing? All right, Investable Collectibles. Yeah, your stuff's on the way, bro. Should be there already, I think, or almost. Hell yeah. Hey, what's up, Prime? Are you at work? All right, Anger's back. Welcome back. Can you hear us better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, I was saying earlier that you've been busy AF, man.
Yeah, I can't keep up, man. I can't keep up with the orders. Like I have to like wake up like early in the morning. Well, I always wake up in the morning, but like early in the morning. But yeah, man, it's been crazy.
That's crazy. Is it just you have all the singles? I mean, what do you think as far as your breakdown? Like, you did a lot of collectors, so you have a lot of the cards everyone's looking for. But like, do you think you broke even? Is about right? Is it
Well,
there?
I think it was by accident because I didn't list all the rares and mythics, the borderless ones.
Yeah,
it's because I got so behind. I have to like film it, open it, all that stuff. So it was like probably like a couple of days until like I list all the the flawless maneuver, all the fierce guardianship.
Yeah,
which I think it kind of worked better because the cards rebounded. So when I list them, it was actually it was actually higher. So now I'm gonna tell you this. As far as like sales goes, so it was released Friday?
Yeah.
So today is Tuesday, right? So every single day, it's been like $1,000 like sales every single day.
Wow.
So
Nice.
that's Saturday, Sunday,
Oh yeah,
Monday. It's been always like Yo, I've been grinding, man. I'm telling you, it's been ridiculous, man. And like I said, down to the basic land. I think I'll have like a couple of retro basic lands that's left.
Yeah.
But even those are selling like the waste basic. It's crazy, man. So it's been 90 to 100 plus orders every single day. And every time I finish, there's more orders coming up. It's like, it's ridiculous, bro. But,
well, thank you for taking a quick break and hanging out with us, man. You ready for some spoilers, bro? We're going to cover the leaks first. So let me see if I can make this huge. And this is there's actually a grip of my. I only thought there was those 8, but no. This guy and several other peoples that got their promo packs early without instruction said screw it and ripped into these bad boys. That's what these are from.
Pinks are on the way.
Yeah, right. All right. So anything of interest? We actually got time. Was there anything that are you on top of it, Anger, or you just been dealing with orders?
Oh, just hands down orders, man. Hands down on orders. I see like a couple cards that's like, I don't know, like anime art, and I think everyone knows those cards already, but as far as like leaks or anything.
Oh, there it is. The Antics, or I like it, Asinine Antics. Okay. So we'll start at the top. Was there anything, Robert, you saw that you were like, bruh?
Oh,
I know the rat for me and the Drago, of course.
There's a few like that. What's it called? That red card just below you there.
Torch the Tower.
Yes, I like that. So, because I'm an old OG Burn player, and so yeah. So that bargain mechanic, when you cast a spell, you can sacrifice a token, enchantment, or artifact to get the enhanced effect.
Okay.
So you can basically sacrifice that and cast that, sack a food token, and lightning bolt, scry 1, exile. I love it. I love it.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, seems like some good old fashioned burn fun to me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking barbecue. Let's go. Tortoise. What was your card of choice out of this?
I don't know. I haven't seen the spoilers yet.
We're looking at them right now.
So
they brought shaders back.
Yeah,
they can block.
Well, all I know is I want to see a dinosaur in this set, and I want to see what mechanically will be unique for this set. And I know we're getting one Planeswalker, so I want to see what Ashiok's going to look like for sure.
Oh, for sure. He's supposed to be mono black, so I'm excited.
He's already been spoiled. These should be farther down that list.
Ashiok. Oh, okay. Bet. But I did want to talk about this bad boy right here. It cycles in and out of your graveyard by itself. I think it's pretty dope. So it's a 2-drop. Okay, so let's look at the adventure. I know this is super small. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Maybe.
Burrito.
Yeah, no, it doesn't want me to go over anymore. Anyway, all right, so 2-drop, right? For sorcery, draw a card, and you lose 1 life. Okay, simple enough. And then you can play him. And basically, when it dies, you can cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of turn. So, bam, do this again, move on over, and pop them back out. Just constant. It's pretty cool.
Yep, that's pretty sweet.
So, I mean, you have to exile him. It's a good 3/2 for 2. I mean, it's just value town.
Yeah, plus trample.
And trample too. Ooh, me likey. Okay, me likey.
He's like Garrick's apprentice right there.
Nice.
Okay. Anything exciting about this whale? Ward 2 is pretty nice. And Flash. Woo. Let's see. 2-drop. 1 in the blue. Owner of target attacking creature you don't control puts it on top of the bottom of your library. Okay, there you go. Get rid of some. Flash. Ward 2. Always good. Enters a battlefield tapped unless it's your turn. Okay.
Decent
It
tempo.
kind of
card.
avoids. Yeah, but it comes into play tap. Then why are you going to flash it in? I mean, for your turn, sure, but okay. Interlopers. There you go. So based on power level. Okay.
Is that like a new framing? Torch the
What's that?
tower. A new
Yeah,
framing.
that's
Oh,
the
this
promo.
is the promo. Yeah. That's been the same, I think. Okay. The new fairy. Yep. 1-drop 3/3. What? Okay. Flying Ward 2 enters the battlefield tapped with 3 stun counters on it. If it become untapped, remove a stun. Yep. You can pay 2 to untap it. So there's some tapping fun there. How about you, Tortoise? Tortoise.
I'm right here.
That Apprentice's Folly
Yeah.
saga is pretty sick. If you can just play with the saga counters, you can just keep making copies of stuff every turn. That's pretty fun.
Oh,
The 3 blind mice is actually pretty decent too. The mouse token thing is like subpar. All right, create a 1/1 white mouse token, but the fact
Right.
that it populates for the second 2 chapters is pretty good because you can have an 8/8 token in the battlefield. And you can target that to copy. So that's already going to fit a Ravnican theme, and I like that a lot. Then the fact that the last ability pumps the team and gives them vigilance until in turn is pretty nuts. I like it.
yeah.
Imidane, the Pyro Hammer. Read that one. It's
All right.
So gross.
2 colorless, 2 red. Love it already. Whenever an instant or sorcery spell you control that targets only a single creature deals damage to that creature, homie deals that much damage to each opponent. Ooh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you pretty much for your instants and sorceries you get that lovely Drago from M20 action. It's M21. M21, yeah.
M21.
That Lord Skitter's blessing is pretty neat. Not to deter from Imodane, it's an enchantment that lets you draw cards.
Yep. It's a Phyrexian arena that as long as you have an enchanted creature, you get to have the Phyrexian arena effect, and it creates a token of an aura.
I know that's insane.
So yeah, Tortoise, your enchantment decks are about to just zoom in power from this set.
Right? Yeah, Throne Eldraine is an enchantment themed sort of set. That's where we got all that glitters from originally. So I'm curious to see the upgrades we're going to get. And since I just got an enchantment deck for that color, I'm wondering how well it will be supported. That'd be insane.
Hello, Dark Raven.
Dark.
Yeah, Pyro Hammer's gonna be awesome. Let me know. Oh yeah, because all your enchantment love. Ugh.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we got a 1-drop fairy. Okay. Flying. Enters battlefield. Surveil. Bringing back Surveil. If you guys don't remember, that was basically Scry, but you ditch it or keep it, right?
Another Ravnica set ability. Yay!
Right.
Yep.
And then you can pay 3, exile it from your graveyard, draw a card, and lose 1 life. So a little utility afterwards.
Very solid card in the right color too. It's
Right.
in black, so that's like Reanimator Central.
The Thunderous debut. This is a big one. Shoot, 6 and 2 green. Bargain. Okay. Look at the top 20 cards of your library. Holy crap! You reveal up to 2 creature cards from among them. If the spell was bargain, put the revealed cards into the battlefield. What? Otherwise, put the revealed cards into your hand and shuffle.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's gross.
That looks pretty nuts.
Wow. Yeah, that's like, oh, here's a crater, and here's a. Oh no, crater's on cast though, right? But hey,
Tortoise.
big boys.
Enchantment, right, Tortoise?
Enchantment. Love enchantment.
There you go.
There you go.
The commander.
But it has to be creatures, no?
Yeah, creature cards.
Yeah, you get to reveal two that you put in your hand, so it's still a creature, but all right. Then you have this one, the Grand Squall. Beluna. Tortoise, you got this one.
Oh, you talking about questing druid or
Yeah.
questing druid? All right, so
The
for
questing commander.
all right, so you got the commander. Are you talking about the 3-colored one?
Yeah.
All right, so we got Balloona, Grand Squall,
Balloona.
for a green, a blue, and a red. Dun dun dun. Legendary creature, Giant Noble. He's a 4/4. He has a adventurous ability. It says Seek Thrills, cost 2 generic, a green, blue, and red. Instant, which is important here. Adventure, mill 7 cards and put all cards that have adventure from among the milled cards into your hand. But as the creature side, he has Trample. And he says permanent spells you cast have an adventure cost 1 less to cast. Ooh, that's going to be insane. And it's in a good colors
Adventure
for
tribal.
the adventuring abilities. Because you got ramp, you got draw, and you got burn. Burn, baby, burn.
So that's gonna be a fun one.
He looks solid.
Mhm.
Give
All
you
right.
a good adventure commander.
Oh, yeah.
And questing druid, you got the Seek the Beast though, colorless and a red, event and instant adventure. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your end step. To your next end step, you may play those cards. So there you go. Not for Prosper because it's green, but always a good ability there. And then Homeboy himself is 2 for 1/1, colorless and a green. Whenever you cast a spell that is white, blue, black, or red, put a 1/1 counter on homie.
Woo-hoo.
Interesting.
That's like the Quarian Beast Caller, but a bit of an upgrade to it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. I could put that in my Faldorn deck.
Ooh,
Even-
a Drago.
Even Talrand is selling. No
Yeah.
shit.
Really?
There you go.
We don't talk about Talrand.
Yeah. It's
We
like-
need
Even
more
this card
Talrand.
is selling, man. Even
We
that
need
card
more
is selling.
Talrand.
I know, right? Yo,
Yeah.
next set, Talrand. Commander.
Yeah, we better get a textured Surge Foil something Talrun. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Talrand has
Yo,
Talrand has the following for his spells
Demonic
matters.
Tutor.
Demonic Tutor.
Yo,
I
Demonic
still want one
Tutor
of those,
foil?
Yeah.
$75, man. I
What?
was like, sheesh. Sell it, man.
Yeah.
Sell it. Like, that's
Hell yeah.
crazy.
Spiteful Hex from H. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. So Swamp for 3/2 enters the battlefield. Create a cursed roll token attached to target creature you control. And that's control roll on it. Put one onto the graveyard. Enhanced creature is a 1/1. Oh, okay. So I can nerf something real quick, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you have to put it on your own stuff
Yeah.
in the case of him. So he's kind of like a 1-mana 1/1 if he's your first drop. But after that, could be interesting. But, if you have an Enchantment Matters theme, you get a free enchantment.
True. Oh, man, this 6-drop Drago, 4 and 2 red. Bargain. Okay. Got Flying Haste. Enters the battlefield. If it was bargain, add 4 mana in any combination of colors. Okay. And regular pump spell. It's just 1 damage to any target. Nice.
That's pretty good. That sync is really solid.
I love the art, though. Is that a car? And,
What? Oh no, it's a wagon. But yeah,
It's a wagon. Holy
yeah.
Yo, that's badass, man.
Hell
That's
yeah.
crazy. I don't know.
Okay, we got about 10 minutes, so we'll wrap up here. I guess stop me if you see anything. I love this food fight.
Food fight's interesting. You get to turn your artifacts into little pingers. So
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Gain combat turn. Pay 1 if you do. Create a sorcerer roll token. Okay.
Woo.
If you control another roll on it, put that one in the graveyard. Channel creature gets +1/+1. As whenever this creature attacks, scry 1.
That's
Nice.
sweet. That's sweet, especially in white. There's your rats.
Yup. They can't block, but when it dies, you create X 1/1 black rat creature tokens with this creature can't block. Where X is the amount of damage dealt to it this turn. So there you go.
Hit me with a blasphemous act. See what happens.
Yeah, I'll take
Look.
that 13. 13
Look
rat.
Look at the red card next to him. It's a red card that creates black rat creature tokens. I wonder if they're going to make a Rakdos colored rat commander in this set.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be sick.
Hell yeah. Rat and burn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Raging
Rat-
Rattle
Raging-
Mouse.
Rat
Love the name.
aggro.
Okay, so it's 2-drop. The second spell to cast each turn cost 1 less to cast. Oh, for you. Okay. Sorry, I'm skipping words here.
I'm sorry. I started reading ahead on that charming scoundrel.
Go ahead, take over. I'm good. No,
all right,
seriously.
so look at this charging scoundrel here. For 2 mana, you get a 1/1 with haste, which is mediocre if it had no abilities. When charming scoundrel enters the battlefield, so blink decks, rejoice.
Mhm.
It enters the battlefield. You choose one. You discard a card, then draw a card, so you get the looting effect. Or you can create a treasure token, which is pretty solid. Or you create a wicked roll token attached to a creature, so you can drop down another creature to a 1/1 creature. This is going to be something else. I like it. It is saucy. Saucy.
Wow.
Saucy.
And I like how this one just gets 1/1 count or gets +1/+1. Okay. Interesting. There was a lot of talk about the Beseech the Mirror.
That one's pretty good, but look to the right. The Stroke of Midnight. That is so nasty.
Oh,
I know.
Wow.
I know. That card
It's
is
like
nuts.
Generous Gift, but better.
Wow.
It gives the opponent a weaker creature.
Yeah.
Wow.
Feral Encounter.
White's getting the good stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
I like the name of the blue card, Asinine Tactics.
Yeah. Antics. Yes.
9-assed Antics.
Yeah.
9S Antics. Yes. You can actually flash it in if you want to pay even more for it. Each creature create a cursed roll token attached to that creature. Ooh.
Yeah. Uh-oh, is the train coming? Yeah, look at that Tanglehorn Lookout. Or
Oh my
Tanglespank
God.
Lookout. To the
What?
right. That
I
green
know.
card.
I think we lost
The green
Tortoise. He's
card.
like, oh my God.
Yeah. I think Tortoise needs to change his undies now.
Yeah.
I should have worn my brown pants.
That's right. Oh yeah, I forgot, guys. Cheers. I had some coffee, so I actually found some
Cheers.
purple. Thank you, Cawstick.
Perkle? Cawstick found the Perkle?
Cawstick did. Yeah, he brought it over. I was like, oh what, dude? Homie. All right. What is this crown any D's?
I mean, sorta. You get to tap creatures during your turn for free, and you can sacrifice it to draw cards if your opponent's like swinging out at you. So, sorta.
Okay.
Let
Kind of
me
like a baby icy manipulator a little bit.
Let me embellish something really quick on that green card. Right there.
Yeah.
The text says whenever an aura enters the battlefield, not a cast effect. With Bruno White Alabaster in a Bant deck, when she attacks, you can attach auras from your graveyard in your hand onto her. That can be up to like 10 cards that you're drawing just on an attack trigger.
Yup.
Jeez.
And then with these wicked rolls and cursed rolls and such, those are all auras as well.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh boy.
yeah, that one's going to be a saucy card.
Is it really? That's all I got for it.
That is it.
Yeah.
It's a scalding viper. It's so scalding.
I'm reading the card. The fact that its adventure costs 2 mana and does what it does is really solid. It has like a limited card and whatnot.
It's like Boomerang.
Opponent casts a spell with mana cast value 3 or less. Scouting target does 1 damage. Ooh, that's a tempo ruiner. I like it. Scalding Vapor is going to be pretty solid. Like in Commander, maybe not so, but in Standard and Limited and other earlier formats, it's probably going to make a little wave.
There's the Sewer King. Woot woot.
Lord Skitter Sewer King. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're getting a lot of rat tribal in this set.
Well, there's 2 so far.
Hmm.
And
Well,
this one's decent.
3 if you
I don't
count
know.
that with cool red spell that you get to make X rats and give your
Oh,
creature
right.
haste.
But this guy's not Rakdos, so I'm like,
No.
yeah, but it's still cool. Don't get me wrong. Beginning of your combat.
He'll be good in your rat deck no matter what. He creates
Oh, yeah.
rat to give your upkeep.
Oh,
that's solid.
Big time, dude.
Yeah.
New elf. All right, we're almost at time here. Sentinel of Lost Lore. 3 drop. All right. Colorless and 2 green. You get that choose effect. Turn target card you own in exile that has an adventure into your hand. Okay. Put a card you don't own in exile that has an adventure on the bottom of its owner's deck. Okay. Exile target player's graveyard. Wow.
So what's really cool about him, that first effect, the first choice, if your opponent has something under like an Oblivion Ring effect, it's exile. So you can just get it right back to your hand out from under their Oblivion Ring.
I was trying to decipher that one. I was struggling a little bit. Yeah, okay. I like that.
Or you can cast for adventure and then cast him, return the adventure card back to your hand, and re-adventure again. That's really useful.
Hey, what's up, Twiller? How you doing, buddy?
Target player's graveyard. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, there's your endurance effect. Same body too, just doesn't have reach.
There we go. Love this Drago. Woo woo. And this is such a prosper bait. It's like, dude.
Right.
2 colorless and a black. Exile. Top 2 cards of target opponent's library. Face down. You may look at them. Play those cards for as long as they remain exiled.
Yeah.
And then come on back. You got a flying trample. 4/4 Drago. And whenever it attacks, just on attack trick alone, create a treasure token. Woot woot.
That's like sort of mini gold span, plus you get to jack your opponent's stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. All right.
4 Keeps Gaming, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Zombie? How you doing? And these are the new lands. So
man lands. Whoop, whoop.
Man lands. They come into play tap, though. It's a little rough, but you can turn them into stuff. Whenever this attacks, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Oh, you can even throw those counters on there. There you go.
Need it.
Hell yeah.
Pretty deep. Enemy, right? Enemy.
Here we go, guys.
Time for some Blake.
That was in my coffee pot.
Blake in the morning.
Little Blake in the morning, and Gavin Verhey as well.
Yeah. Oh, get over there. Get over there. Come on now.
More rats.
Come on, you gotta catch them.
Oh, this is loud.
Great.
Hey, Magic fans! Welcome to Wilds of
volume,
Eldraine, the latest set from Magic the Gathering. I'm Becca
Oh, wait,
Scott,
it's got
and
Evolving
today we're
Wilds?
going back to the land
No
of
way.
Eldraine.
Great.
Chock full of fairy tales and stories come to
Konami
life.
Crescendo.
But in the wilds of Eldraine, these familiar stories come with a magic twist. So where were we? The Phyrexians invaded the multiverse. It did not go well for anybody. If this were a fairy tale, it'd be one of those old ones that gets very dark very quickly. The people and creatures of Eldraine have survived, and Eldraine is back to the land we all know and love. Well, mostly. Eldraine was saved due to the return of Talion, the kindly lord. Talion made a desperate bargain with the 3 witch sisters, giving them each a powerful magical artifact. Each of the witches has taken their enchanted items to a different part of the world. Hilda of the Icy Crown has retreated into a wintry kingdom to be alone.
Oh, wow.
Although she isn't as alone as she thinks.
Oh, dark-haired Elsa.
Agatha of the Vile Cauldron uses her gift to consume the essence of anyone unlucky enough to end up in her pot.
Agatha.
And Ariette of the Charmed Apple wants to build herself a court of loyal subjects.
I want that card.
While
There
her
you
apple
go.
grants her the
Yeah.
love of any who take a bite, Ariette hungers for more. And so, she has helped unleash a new horror on the people of Eldraine. Together, Talion and the 3 witches were able to enchant the Phyrexians into a deep sleep. Battalion was unaware that there would be a cost to pay. The sleep has spread across Eldraine. Known as the Wicked Slumber, it overtakes villages, hamlets, even entire castles. Who knows what the sleepers will do while their conscious minds aren't in control? Talion struggles to confront the spreading slumber and seeks out the help of Eldraine's heroes. Kellen, a young farm boy with fairy blood and a mysterious family tree, is recruited by Talion to learn more about the Wicked Slumber. Time will tell if he is up to the task.
That was a tutor.
Will and Rowan Kenrith are siblings who used to share a planeswalker spark. Where one went, the other had to follow. Now, for the first time, they are divided. Will seeks to put down his sword of ice and unite Eldraine through diplomacy. Rowan won't step foot in a negotiation and prefers the direct fairy tale approach, finding some sort of enchanted item that will magically reunite the kingdom. She might be onto something. Ashiok may not have created the Wicked Slumber, but they are happy to spread it further, all while bending Rowan to their will. Eldraine is full of familiar stories, but in true Magic fashion, each has been given an unexpected twist. This set's two-color pairings illustrate the fairy tale archetypes that we all know and love, and you'll discover characters you're sure to recognize. A red-hooded traveler on her way to Grandma's with a basket of snacks and a crossbow. An adventurous young man who likes to climb beanstalks. I wonder what he found up there. And someone who's coming to the party whether she's invited or not.
Nice.
Eldraine is a land where these beloved stories play out over and over. Evil queens clash with brave knights, curses trouble the unvirtuous, and children lost in the woods find themselves on a magical journey. Some of these connect to the main story, others are whimsical adventures that play out in the background, but all of them will feel fun and familiar. And all these pieces provide the opportunity for you to put your own unique twist on them.
Ooh, the swarm
For
pepper.
instance, Mother Goose is a sweet old lady who tells you bedtime stories. Goose Mother, on the other hand... Oh, wow, that's terrifying.
Brett, no.
The Goose Mother.
And what about Hansel and Gretel? In Eldraine, both children weren't able to follow the breadcrumbs back home to their happily ever after. Instead, one of them was eaten, and the other became a badass witch hunter, who obviously had some issues to work out around enchanted candy. These are fairy tales we all know, and in Wilds of Eldraine, you'll get to revisit these familiar stories with a magic twist. You aren't just a creature attacking for 2 damage, you are the Pied Piper leading a horde of 1/1 rats. Who can stand against his horde of rodents?
There you go.
What about a very angry cookie? But this is no ordinary cookie. Every character has a role to play, and in Wilds of Eldraine, you'll find roles to play. This new mechanic attaches an enchantment to a creature, a role, affecting their attributes and adding a fun wrinkle to the story. A once noble knight is transformed into a monster knight, giving him +1/+1 and trample. An evil witch charms a member of the court and schemes her way into becoming a royal witch, granting her +1/+1 and ward 1. I guess that makes her your royal wickedness. Ooh, I like the way that sounds. And sometimes it's a role you want removed. Can anyone lift this curse off of Skybeast Tracker? I need to do something about this Goose Mother. Don't let it go to your head, Goose. Bargain is another new mechanic introduced in this set. Just like Jack traded the family cow for some magic beans, you'll be able to hawk, barter, and swap your way to victory. Bargain lets you sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token when you cast the spell. Once you've given something up, you receive something in return. Sacrifice a token when you cast Torch the Tower, increasing your damage to 3, and you get to scry 1. Sounds like a deal. Nothing is more crucial to Eldraine than a sense of adventure, and so the adventure mechanic makes a return. This ability allows you to cast either the creature card, in this case Besotted Knight, or choose to send your creatures on an adventure. If you choose to activate Betroth the Beast, you get to create a Royal Roll token, giving your target +1/+1 and ward 1.
Nice.
Your adventure is then sent into exile, but can later return as its creature card to complete the quest. Perfect. Another successful adventure. And in this set, look for 2-color adventures. Oh yeah, of course that dragon makes treasure. Sagas are also back. What better mechanic to use in Eldraine than one that allows you to tell a story? This saga features the 3 blind mice.
Wow.
Oh, great. Now that song is stuck in my head. This set also has a commander deck centered around roles, Virtue and Valor. A green-white deck, it enables you to step seamlessly into any role. And if you'd like to join the court of Talion the Kindly Lord yourself, we have Fey Dominion, a commander deck focused on allowing you to finally play as the wild and bewitching Fey. Fairy tales are known for their lush illustrations, and Wilds of Eldraine is no exception, with a huge variety of gorgeous treatments and alternate art.
Look
Pretty
at Butthole
invisible.
Forest.
Nice.
Behold, the enchanting tales.
Greater more magic.
These top enchantments are presented here in
Where's my
beautiful
daddy?
storybook style. You've played them,
Send one
you've
back.
loved them,
Nice.
but you've never seen them like this. They'll be a dream to collect and play,
Pirate
but a
Emancipation.
nightmare for your
Natural
opponents.
growth.
Some of these enchanting tales also have captivating anime borderless versions. I'm
Yo.
sorry, is that a lamb bumblebee?
Lamblebee,
Kindred Discovery
if it
got
will.
so romantic. They'll be available in foil, non-foil, and beautiful new confetti foil treatments. Oh, I love the line work in this one.
Yeah.
That is the greatest doubling
Right.
season I've ever seen.
Season.
And there are other
Nope,
gems to
no, it's
find
not.
with the return of borderless favorites for select cards. Are you tired of borders? We've got you covered.
It's gonna be in the collectors. I
Adventure
think.
cards get to have some fun too with their
Yep.
special showcase treatment.
I
What
like
a great
that
way to
one.
make the most
I'm
of this
glad they're bringing
returning
that back.
mechanic. Yeah, that dragon's got some expensive taste. Treasure. I love it. Wilds of Eldraine will be available for pre-release the weekend of September 1st through 3rd. On Arena, check out the early streamer event on August 31st, then enjoy the set release on September 5th. It will be available everywhere on September 8th. And if you want to read even more of the story, make sure you take a look at the web fiction, which is available right now. And check out these 2 promotional cards that will be available at your local game store,
Oh.
Pyroblast and Ice Out. Keep your eyes
Nice.
peeled for what inspired these promos as we get closer to launch day. And that's a quick little peek at some of what you'll find in the wilds of Eldraine. There's so much more to discover in this tangled, wild, enchanting world, but now it's time for us to end like every good fairy tale. And they played happily ever after. Right.
Oh my lord.
Perfect.
The cheese.
Wow.
Well, I know DJ's excited for the enchantment aura theme.
No, there's a lot of fun stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
That's it. 10K opening collectors.
That's
right?
it.
You know,
No,
Hanger's,
just kidding.
Hanger's
No.
gonna go broke buying this set before he makes his money back.
Yeah.
No. Not this one though. Not this one.
Nah.
Wow. There was a lot to digest there, and unfortunately, a whole 9 minutes says it's going to go for a whole hour, and that was 9 minutes. There we go.
Hello and welcome to Weekly MTG. I'm your host, Blake Rasmussen,
Oh, there's
and
Blake.
I am joined today to talk about Wilds of Eldraine
Oh.
by Sarah Wassel and Ian Duke. Welcome, you two.
Thanks, Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Blake. Glad to be here.
Yeah, real quick, before we dive into all the previews that we're going to talk about, can you tell the people at home a little bit about what you did on the set?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm an art director. I work in the studio translating the world building visions into art. For the cards, I work kind of more primarily on the special versions of cards with custom frames and different art styles.
Which we're going to talk about several of those today. And then, Ian, what was your role?
I was the design lead of Eldraine, which means that along with my team, we were responsible for sort of the latter half of the design process. So the final card file, game balance, iterating on the gameplay and the mechanics and all that sort of good stuff.
Yep. And Ian is so deep in testing, he's coming to us from an undisclosed location, so we're just using a picture of him today. But he does get to be the sharpest dressed in the stream by default. So we're glad to have both of you. And we're going to spend the next hour talking about Wilds of Eldraine mechanics, about the treatments, the art styles, everything. You can put. We're going to have a question and answer section at the end. We have so much to get to. We're just going to get started. We're going to start by talking about the mechanics, and of course, the headline returning mechanic is adventure, and our first preview card underscores how many adventures there are in this set and some of the fun things you can do with them. So let's see, Baluna Grand Squall. For a green, a blue, and a red mana, you get a legendary creature, Giant Noble. It's a 4/4. It has an adventure called Seek Thrills. For 2, a green, a blue, and a red, you can mill 7 cards, then put all cards that have an adventure from among the milled cards into your hand. And then Baluna himself has trample and permanent spells you cast that have an adventure cost 1 less to cast.
Baloney.
Cast that many
Baloney.
in a row. Of course, there is the
That's what I heard.
treatment on the side. So, Ian, let's start with you and talk about the design of this mythic.
Yeah, so from very early on, thinking about what we wanted to bring back from the original Throne of Eldraine, we knew that adventures was a really fun mechanic, a really popular mechanic as well. So we wanted to see adventures coming back here in Wilds of Eldraine. And one of the didn't get this time around have a legendary creature that sampled here for to play with a lot of adventure cards in their decks. So we brought in Baluna Grand Squall to kind of be that character that is kind of the headliner for folks that like to play with a lot of adventures. Adventures in the original Throne of Eldraine were sort of centered in the teamer colors, green, blue, and red. And that's also the case in Wilds of Eldraine. They appear in all colors in Wilds of Eldraine, but they're a little bit more centralized in green, blue, and red, kind of that of the set. And of course, if you putting lots in your deck, Baluna can help you find them and then also help you cast them.
Yep. And then, Sarah, this is also the return of the adventure frame, and there's a different art style, there's a different frame. Can you talk a little bit about the development of that and the feel that goes into it?
Yeah, sure. The Eldraine having, being all about fairy tales, that gives us not just, literally thousands of years of stories embedded in human culture, but art styles that go back a really long way too. So the storybook frame is meant to kind of feel more like an illustrated fairy tale tome, like a book. So
Same frame.
The images in these frames are a little bit flatter. They're a little bit more. They look like they were kind of hand drawn, maybe hand penciled with the color, not as bright, not as kind of digital feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see that the difference in the two pieces here. The regular frame card is really has that really, really bright white in it. And Baluna's looking a little more kind of like still in the bright image.
Mm-hmm. All right. To emphasize that point a little bit more, let's look at. So this is a card. This next card is a card we saw in the debut, but we're going to be seeing a lot from Kellen.
Hey
going
DJ,
forward
my head out.
So this is
All right, brother.
Fae-blooded.
Thanks for joining us, man.
I'll read it again.
Man.
We showed it in the debut, but it's a cool card. So Kellen is 2 and a red for a legendary creature, human fairy, not a type 1 you see very often.
Go check him out on his
It's
channel,
2/2,
Anger
has an
Collections.
adventure called
Post your link
Birthright
on your way out,
Boon
brother.
For 1 and a white. Search
Back.
your library for
Kellen,
aura
the
or a
Fae-blooded
card
is
you
needed
like,
for
put it
the
into your hand,
Boros
and then shuffle.
enchantment Boros
And
theme.
then Kellen himself has double strike, and other creatures you control get +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellen, the Fae-blooded. So Sarah, we see some of those properties that you were talking about in that adventure frame in the middle, but Kellen has a third borderless version. How do you all balance having multiple different versions, creating different art feels on these?
Yeah, sure. Well, from these three, it's easy to see one of the ways we do it is by cropping the art differently and presenting it differently. So in the borderless version, we get way up close and personal with Kellen, and we can see them much better since you're just seeing kind of from the waist up.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the middle version, this is a really kind of extreme example of the pencil sketch feel. Omar Ryan works in pencils and in pretty intricate textures when he draws. Getting his black and white sketches in is one of the greatest gifts of my job. Honestly, they're remarkable from the beginning. They're not rough. They're just so detailed and beautiful. So I think you could see in the three of these how different they each feel from each other. So
Nice hillbilly.
we're trying to do is give the players like everything is exciting.
Yeah, and Ian, this is also one of the twists on adventure this time around is having the adventure portion and the creature portion be different colors. Can you talk a little bit about that development?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said earlier, we knew we wanted to bring back adventure. We knew it was something that players would expect to see when we return to the world of Eldraine, but we wanted to put a little twist on it this one. So, we've done some of the adventures in the set, not all of them, is they're what we call internally off-color adventures, which means that the adventure spell, the instant or sorcery portion, uses a different color of mana than the creature itself. So here, Kellen has a white adventure, but is a red creature himself.
And now for Kellen specifically, Ian, how this is our first time meeting this character. It's a character we've already said we're going to follow. How important was it to get the mechanics on this character correct?
Oh, it was really important. We knew that Kellen would be an important part of the storyline from pretty early on, so we knew we wanted to have a Kellen card in the set. And my team worked very closely with our creative and art folks to make sure that we were representing the character well. Here, one of the powers that Kellen has is he can create magical weapons out of magical energy here. So we've kind of represented that by being able to search up an aura or equip and equip him or enchant him easily. And this being enchanted with the right sidebox here and benefits himself and your other creatures for doing so.
All right.
Man,
Let's
that's not
move
me. That's
on
them.
to our next mechanic, and we're going to use a little bridge because our next card, Conceited Witch, has both adventure and creates a role token. So Conceited Witch is 2 and a black for a 2/3 human warlock. The adventure is a single black for Price of Beauty, a sorcery which creates a wicked role token attached to target creature you control, and it is a 2/3 with menace. So Ian, give us a quick overview of role and what it does in the set.
Yeah, roll is one of the big new mechanics in the set. Rolls are enchantment aura tokens that you can use to put on your creatures, or in some cases your opponent's creatures. And there's 6 different types of rolls in the set. Wicked is one of them here. Different, and each cause you to create a roll will tell you which roll to create and how to put it onto a creature. Each player can only have 1 roll per creature, and if you try to put a second roll on that same creature, then the new one will replace the old one. The old one will go to the graveyard.
Mm-hmm. And these wicked roll tokens, we're printing these tokens, right? They're coming in packs.
Yes, we have tokens available to represent rolls, and the tokens themselves are not edited, but they have a roll on the top and a roll on the bottom. And then we have 6 different rolls. So there's 3 different tokens, each with 2 rolls on it. Makes it a little bit easier to find the right roll that you're looking for as you're, searching through a pile of draft chaff, or as it were.
All right, well, let's look at a couple other roll cards. The next one up is Living Lectern. So this is 1 and a blue artifact creature construct. It's a 0/4. And you can pay 1 mana and sacrifice Living Lectern to draw a card and create a sorcerer role token attached to up to 1 other target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery, so that feels thematic. The sorcerer role is enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature attacks, scry 1. So talk about, Ian, a little bit about how I was gonna say this eventually. The role that role plays in draft.
Yeah, rolls are sort of the glue that binds the whole set together. There's really a ton of things you can do with them, and I'm sure we'll talk about some of those as we go on through today's show. But the most important things about rolls is that they are enchantments, so they'll trigger anything that you have that cares about creating enchantments or enchantments entering the battlefield or going to the graveyard or your creatures being enchanted. It also interacts several of our mechanics that a little bit later on. I won't jump in.
Hey Magus, how you doing, buddy?
Most of the draft archetypes will care in some way about having roles, whether that's creating additional permanents, whether it's about sacrifice fodder, things you can sacrifice to your other effects, or simply just caring about enchantments or having enchanted creatures.
Yes,
right.
Magus.
Next up for roles, we have a rare named Fawnsbane Troll. So this is 2, a black, and a green for a creature troll. It's a 4/4. When Fawn's Bane Troll enters the battlefield, create a monster roll token attached to it. So a monster roll is enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has trample. And then you can pay 1 and sacrifice an aura attached to Fawn's Bane Troll. Fawn's Bane Troll fights target creature you don't control. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Activate only in a sorcery. All right, Ian, what's going on? This one seems a little bit pushed for a roll card.
Definitely, at the very least, a limited bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes in as 5/5 stats because it gets to enchant itself with the monster roll. So 5/5 trample already off the bat, and then you get one free fight out of it from the initial roll that it creates. And then if you have additional ways to put other rolls or other auras onto the troll, then you can kind of keep mowing down your opponent's creatures with it.
All right. We are next going to move into Bargain, the mechanic that sacrifices a lot of these auras. So we're going to look at Rowan's Grim Search, which also happens to be a story spotlight card. For 2 and a black, you get an instant that has Bargain, which reads, you may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as you cast the spell. If this spell was bargained, look at the top 4 cards of your library, then put up to 2 of them back on top of your library in any order, and the rest into your graveyard. You draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. All right, Ian, tell us about this card. How powerful is it when you bargain it?
Yeah,
versus
right.
not?
It's gonna be good in a risk.
Definitely powerful when you bargain it for sure. The rate is pretty good.
Oh
here in
yeah,
terms
with
of the
Rancor.
card
Doggy.
set, so I expect this to be a pretty prized limited staple for those who enjoy drafts. And bargain in general is a mechanic that appears throughout the set. I mentioned earlier that rolls work well with some of other mechanics in the set. Bargain is one of those, so you can sacrifice to upgrade your spells with this like bargain, and they all work the same way. They all ask you to sacrifice enchantment or token in order to upgrade your spell.
All right, let's move on to the next mechanic, Celebration. So we're going to take a look at Gallant Pie Wielder. He's got some pies. He's a dwarf. He's wielding them. So it's a 2 and a white for a 2/3 creature dwarf knight. Has first strike, and it has that ability, Celebration. Gallant Pie Wielder has double strike as long as 2 or more non-land permanents entered the battlefield under your control this turn. Ian, tell us about Celebration.
Celebration is the theme of our red-white color pair. It always requires you to have 2 or more non-land permanents entering the battlefield during your turn, and that's another mechanic that works really well with roll, but also works well in general with just playing out lots of small creatures, equipment, other ways of getting permanents out of the battlefield. And the red-white in Wilds of Eldraine is aggressive, playing field type of archetype, so it fits in perfectly with what Celebration is doing.
All right. And speaking of the red-white archetype, we touched on it in the debut, but let's go a little deeper on the draft archetype. So if we can put the draft uncommon, these are the signpost uncommons. For those who aren't familiar with draft, it's typical for a set to have these multicolored cards and these types of multicolored cards in the uncommon slot that give you a direction, that kind of tell you what the color pair is about. So Ian, do you want to run through the color pairs real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the cool things we did with this set is that each of the color pairs for the draft archetypes is strongly associated with basically its own fairy tale story. And we made sure that very early on, we tied in the art and the flavor of those cards that are associated with that color with that. So just to use an example here, toward the upper right, Ruby Derricker, which are Little Red Riding Hood analog type of character here.
Dude,
strongly
red is
associated
awesome.
with the red-green color pair, which cares about creatures with hype. So to run through all the color pairs here real quick, in the top left, white-blue is the Frost Queen, and that cares about tapping your opponent's creatures and getting rewarded for that. Second up, we have blue-black. This is our Enchanting Slumber, which is based around fairies and is kind of letting blue-black control. In the top center, we have red-black. This is the Dark Piper, which is rat tokens aggro. So you create lots of these 1/1 rat tokens that can't block, like to attack your opponent and get rewards for your creatures dying. Next up is Ruby and the Wolf, which cares about creatures with power 4 or greater. Then we have in white-green Armont and the Beasts, about enchanted creatures, type that the most cares about having lots of enchantments and enchanted creatures. White-black is Pale as Snow. This archetype is about bargaining and sacrifice and cares about creatures and enchantments leaving the battlefield under your control. Blue-red is the Magician's Misstep and cares about instants, sorceries, and casting adventures. In the bottom center, we have green is Reda, the Witch Hunter. This is a type of story here, and the range deck that cares about food. Red-white, as I mentioned earlier, is an aggressive deck that cares about celebration, so having multiple permanents enter the battlefield under your control each turn and being very aggressive. And then green and blue is the Kingdom of Storms. It's sort of our Jack and the Beanstalk type of fairy tale here, mapping into big spells that cost mana value 5 or greater.
All right. And then before we move on to promos, we've got one last preview card in the mechanics section, just because it is a story spotlight card. If you were keen-eyed in the debut, you might have caught this reprint's name on a piece of art, but Glass Casket is coming back. And for those who don't remember this card, it's 1 and a white for an artifact. When Glass Casket enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or less until Glass Casket leaves the battlefield. And it's gotten a bit of an update on the art in the past set. It was sort of the Sleeping Princess analog, and here they're using the Glass Casket to do some magic around the realm of dreams. So repurposing that reprint. Happy to see it back. Saw a good amount of play back in the day. All right, let's move on to the promos and start talking about the promos that you can get with Wilds of Eldraine. We're going to start with the Buy-a-Box, which is an exciting new Wrath variant called Expel the Interlopers. So again, this is the Buy-a-Box. The Buy-a-Box version is the one on the far right. Expel the Interlopers is 3 white and a white for a sorcery. It says choose a number between 0 and 10. Destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number. And then you can see the extended version in the middle and the Buy-a-Box alternate version on the right. So Sarah, first of all, tell us a little bit about the art there on that Buy-a-Box, which has a unique feel to it.
Yeah, that's a piece by Angela Wang, and this was art directed by Forrest Shield. This is a lot more in line with kind of like the Enchanted Tales art in the set, where the colors are a little more kind of primary, and there's a lot of purple in those cards too. Yeah, it's just a really like different take. The light's different. The characters are from different perspectives. It's pretty fun. I'm so excited about the design of the witches in this set, the visual design of them, because they're such elegant divas in the way that they dress, but then they still live in witches' hovels in scary forests. It's pretty cool.
Expel Interlopers is awesome.
All right, let's take a look at the next promo, which is Lich Knight's Conquest, which is the bundle promo. I'm going to read this real quick, and then I want to talk about that art on the right, Sarah. So Lich Knight's Conquest is 4 and a black for a sorcery. Sacrifice any number of artifacts, enchantments, and or tokens, all of which you have lying around in Wild Eldraine. Return that many creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, Sarah, so not to knock the art on the left, which is fantastic, but I'm really intrigued to hear about the bundle art.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's they go together really well because of that blue kind of teal color that's carried across both pieces of art, which is pretty exciting. But I think that the alternate version is really
that's a really good card. Which is nice
Conquest on the sorcery of this card, and it's so fun to you have the full size knights and they're riding through the scary forest, and that's like you said, it's really effective and beautiful. But then the other card is really focusing on that moment of impact and the scariness and the kind of style of the Lich's magic.
Yeah. And Ian, that first line is very familiar. That's the text of Bargain. Talk about how this card came about and what it's meant to do.
Yeah, like you said, this is very thematic to the bargain mechanic. It's sort of like a mass bargain. You can bargain multiple times with this card. We just thought that twist. This is kind of a one-off card. It's the only one that way in particular, with being able to sacrifice multiple things to get multiple effects here. And in general, we just thought this was a really cool build around. We had a lot of fun play testing with it internally. There's a lot of neat things you can do with creating food or role tokens, or tokens from other sets as well in the context of standard, and then filling up your graveyard and bringing back a bunch of huge things all at once is always fun.
Yeah, that's gross.
All right, our next promo card, very thematic name, Stroke of Midnight. So for 2, you get an instant that destroys target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 1/1 white human creature token. Ian, this seems like an upgrade over some versions of this that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, sort of like in the style of cards like Beast Within that older players might. This is kind of giving you the of getting this thing, but giving them a little some turn, and definitely a very efficient removal spell that will be useful and limited, and perhaps even in standard as well.
All right. Next up, we have the promo version of Fairy Dream Thief. Now, these promos, to remind everyone, can be found in the promo packs that your local game stores can give out during events. Fairy Dream Thief costs a single black mana for a creature Fairy Warlock, which is a 1/1. And has flying whenever Fairy Dream Thief enters the battlefield. Surveil 1. And then for 2 and a black, exile Fairy Dream Thief from your graveyard. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. All right, Ian, what's going on with this card? What are we trying to accomplish here?
Yeah, just a nice little 1-drop here that some extra fairy density in your deck for things that care about having lots of fairies, for example. You can get a nice flying attacker early on, off later on, get some to the graveyard as well.
Yep, absolutely. All right, and our final promo card is Tangle Span Lookout. This is 2 and a green for a 2/3 satyr. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So we've got, Ian, an enchantress for auras specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. Works all with the as kind of easy ways to get lots of auras. Most of the auras in the set are coming out via the roll mechanic, although we do have a couple other ones as well. So this is definitely a great card to look out for, especially when you're playing white-green and you have lots of rolls in your deck and care about enchanted creatures.
Yeah. And yeah, we recognize that Ian's audio is cutting out quite a bit here and there, sort of randomly. So if anyone missed the top of that, he was pointing out how well this goes together with the roll tokens. And the roll tokens trigger this, which is pretty spicy. All right. Next up, we are going to talk about Enchanting Tales. So Enchanting Tales are a bonus sheet that you will get with Wilds of Eldraine that have a bunch of enchantments in them with somewhere between 1 and 3 treatments. And the enchantments are not standard legal, but you can play them in draft. And they bring a bunch of cool texture to the draft. We've seen things like this with Brothers War and Strixhaven before. So we're going to talk about these. Some of these have amazing art, Sarah, which we will spend some time on. The first one that we're going to talk about has just the one version, but you'll see in a second why we're talking about this. So Spreading Seas is our first Enchanting Tales. Before we talk about the art, Sarah, I'm going to note that, so like we've done in the past for Strixhaven, for Brothers War, some of the Enchanting Tales are going to be banned in Historic on day 1 on Magic the Gathering Arena. Spreading Seas, believe it or not, is one of them. So this card is going to be banned. There are going to be 6 total Enchanting Tales cards banned in Historic on day 1. We've seen most of them by this point. So Spreading Seas, Blood Moon, Necropotence, Sneak Attack, Land Tax, and then there's one more card that will be revealed later today by a third-party outlet that will also be on that list, and the Arena Twitter account will share
Spreading Seas is pretty solid,
what that is.
especially in Chapter
I see Merfolk players already
sure, bro.
getting a little upset in chat. And yep, fun police detected is correct. So with that out of the way, Sarah, talk a little bit about the art on Spreading Seas and kind of how you approached the Enchanting Tales overall.
Sure, yeah. So our goal here, or our inspiration, was mid-century kind of background art from classic animated films. And what that means is that this art style, shapes are really important. Shapes and lines and composition. So you'll see in all of these cards that kind of the first thing that the artists are doing is the trees are like a solid kind of flat, very considered shape. The buildings, that you can see in this one, how completely square and really neat. And that, the relationship between the sky and the castle is really, there's not a ton of detail in the sky, and that's on purpose to give the castle this like breathing room and like this kind of elegant, brave minimalism. The frames are a really exciting part of this series as well. We designed these custom frames in-house. Our illustrator, Dalton Pencarina, did them all, and we have different versions for each color. And you can see even within each color frame, on the bottom sides there, it speaks to the mana character. So they all have a slightly different pattern within that space. And this also kind of references like medieval tapestries, which I think is something of a visual motif that everyone relates to when it comes to like tales of knights fighting dragons, kind of classic fantasy and classic kind of fairy tale roots. And in the top left of the card, you see that the frame kind of like curves down to the left. This is our way to kind of like evoke like a storybook or a decorative drop capital letter from an illustrated manuscript. So we're really excited about these frames, and the artists worked really hard to incorporate the color within their work with the specific colors of the frames. So there's a lot of harmony there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and some of these have multiple pieces of art and different treatments because we have the anime-inspired versions as well. So let's take a look at our next one, which is Bitter Blossom.
Oh, wow.
This is not going to come as a surprise in a set with fairies throughout it.
I need one of those.
One thing I will point out is I know Mark Rosewater shared and some others have talked about the fact that the word tribal is we're moving away from it and we're moving to a different word. We've been using typal sort of internally. That's not what the final public word will be, but this Bitter Blossom went to print after that change. So this will probably be the last place that you see tribal used on a card. But Bitter Blossom, really powerful card. I still remember my first Lorwyn draft being opening one of these and being past one as well, and then immediately winning the draft very easily. But I want to talk about the art first, Sarah, because
humble brag.
These have two very distinct styles, yet they're both Bitter Blossom and they're both very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
The anime one's cool.
We work with a Japanese art agency called Kobudo that helps us with the commissioning the anime art because they've been around for 100 years. They're specialists in working with the best anime style artists in Japan. And I think that with the two of these together, you can really especially kind of see how aggressive the style of the Enchanted Tales art is, right? If you look at the fairy's little tiny feet, I mean, we know those are feet, we can see those are legs, but almost those shapes are so strange. They're almost like abstract shapes of feet. Of course, the artist Serena Malian did an amazing job of like tucking that little fairy inside that flower.
I
and
agree,
then,
bro.
the anime version
Eyebrow,
has so much
whatever, man.
expressiveness, that little line of drool coming down from their face, like their little tousled hair, and the beautiful kind of still like enchanted sleep dripping off the edges of the flower petals. Yeah, it's pretty exciting to have both of these as an option.
Is that fairy drooling?
And let's look at our third one.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the art for that, and then we'll go back to Ian to talk about the role of these in draft. But this is a card near and dear to my heart. That pun is intended. Let's see, Defense of the Heart. 3 and a green for an enchantment.
Nice.
That says
I need one.
upkeep.
Ooh,
3
I
or
think we
more
all need one.
creatures. sacrifice Defense of the Heart, search your library for up to 2 creature cards, put those cards in the battlefield, and then shuffle. Sarah, again, 2 very distinct styles on these 2 versions of the same card.
Yeah. The artist on the anime version, Hisashi Momose, did such an exciting job of making these 2 characters, look like they're in a really dire situation, but there's just so much going on with the light and with the drama of it and where their eyes are looking, and you still see that beautiful little rose in between them. And then, it's such a strong contrast to Olena's Richards version on the left, which again is like really flat and 2-dimensional, really decorative in its composition. It's way less about feeling like an actual scene that something is about to happen.
Yeah. And for those asking in chat, no, this one is not banned in Arena. The 6 cards, the 5 of which I named earlier, and there will be another one revealed on a third-party outlet, are these 6 that are banned. Defense of the Heart, play with it in the historic to your heart's content. Now, Ian, so one of these shows up in every draft pack, which not one of these Defense of the Heart, but one of the Enchanting Tales. Talk about the texture that adds to the environment.
Yeah, it adds a lot of fun in just in making each draft different from the one before it. These serve a lot of roles in the set. For one, they're all enchantments, which plays in really well with themes in the set, including all the things that care about like roles and auras and enchanted creatures and enchantments and things along those lines. So they play into those themes as well. But because these are sort of iconic fan favorite cards from all throughout Magic's history, they're all very from one another. Them are very roundy as well. So you can have you open an exciting card from this bonus sheet and get a really cool, rare or mythic rare enchantment from Magic's past. That's a really fun thing to build around. It can take your draft in a different direction.
All right. And the other thing I want to note about the Enchanting Tales is they do have this cool foiling we're calling confetti foiling. I believe we have a video. You might have seen this in the debut as well. But there we go. So the confetti foil versions will have different collector numbers. Those collector numbers will show up in the card image
Galaxy
gallery.
Foil 2.0.
Yep. See how gorgeous these look. And that shimmer they have.
Those anime ones are going to be crazy priced.
For those asking about how and where you can get the Enchanting Tales in the different versions, the different foiling, all of that sort of stuff, if you head to dailymtg.com at the conclusion of the stream, there will be an article up called Collecting Wilds of Eldraine that will have all of that information. Speaking of collecting Wilds of Eldraine, Wilds of Eldraine, as we said earlier, is the place where you can find the universes within versions of the cards that were in the Walking Dead secret lair a while back. So we finally gotten around to those. These will show up on the list in set boosters. For exact rarity and that sort of stuff, again, head to that collecting article on Daily MTG. But we're going to take a look at the universes within versions of these cards. First up, we have Greymond, Avacyn's Stalwart. So 2 and a white for a 3/4 legendary creature human soldier. As Greymond, Avacyn Stalwart enters the battlefield, choose 2 abilities from among First Strike, Vigilance, and Lightning.
Yep.
Humans you control have each of the chosen abilities. As long as you control 4 or more humans you control get +2/+2. After that comes Geese's favorite shovel. This is 1 and a black for a
I like the art though.
Gets +2/+0 and has menace. Whenever a equipped creature attacks defending player, it sacrifices a creature. If they do, you create a walker token. It has equipped 4. Next up, we have Enkira, Hostile Scavenger. 3, a black and a green. When Enkira, Hostile Scavenger enters the battlefield, create 2 walker tokens. As long as Enkira is equipped, it must be blocked if able. When Enkira and at least 2 zombies attack, Enkira gains indestructible.
Only took him a couple years.
Turn, and it's a 3/3. Then we have Gregor Shrewd.
Flavor fail, but cool that
1,
they did it.
A white and a blue. Legendary creature, human advisor, 1/3 with Skulk. Whenever Gregor Shrewd Magistrate deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to its power. Then we have Honsk, Slayer Zealot. For 2, a red and a green. You get a 4/4 legendary creature, human archer. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent creates 3 Walker tokens, which are 2/2 black zombies. And then Hansk, Slayer Zealot. Hansk is just fun to say. Deals 2 damage to target creature. Whenever a zombie an opponent controls dies, draw a card. And then finally, we have Malik, Grim Manipulator. For 2, a red, a white, and a black. You get a 4/3 legendary creature, human rogue. When Malik, Grim Manipulator enters the battlefield, you and target opponent each secretly choose a creature that player controls. Then those choices are revealed, and that player sacrifices those creatures. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a creature, you create a treasure token. All right, again, those will show up in the list section of set boosters for the exact rarity. Check out that collecting article on dailymtg.com. All right, that brings us to the Q&A portion of the
Here we
stream.
go.
We have a few questions lined up here, but feel free to put them in chat. It always helps if you tag @Magic so that we can get to them, and we will get to as many as we can before the end of the stream. We're going to start out with, there have been some questions about the roll tokens that we saw right up front, so we're going to show those off right now real quick. We have all 6 of them, so they come double-sided like this. I'm going to note that what you're seeing on the Wicked and Cursed token is as printed. So there was an art swap there. It looks like the Cursed art and the Wicked art have been swapped. That is the case. So just note that. But each of these will come in booster packs, and it'll have the 2 rolls on them. And Sarah, can you talk a little bit about creating the art for these tokens?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as you can see, there's a series, like a visual series kind of going on here.
That's crazy,
the artist,
Adam.
Rowena Kai, has
On regular
this
cable.
very beautiful, kind of eerie, but still so textured and soft feeling way of drawing and painting. The idea behind these was that since each of these is meant to represent a role from fairy tales, the object or the aspect of the card is highlighted in white. That is the kind of like thing that the role hinges on, and that's the consistency through them. And then there's like a primary color for each one.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Next up for questions, we'll go with this Sarah for this one. So previously when we visited Eldraine, all of the adventure cards got the adventure frame, the booster fund treatment. Is that the case for this Eldraine, or do the common adventures have them, or is it just a subsection?
Oh, I'm not sure about that, actually.
Okay, I know
Sorry.
the answer. Comment.
Like, what are you doing?
Comment. I was, I'm asking the experts.
Sorry, giving me a chance.
I know
You're giving me
many
a chance.
things, but I bring
That's
guests on. Yeah. No, the common adventures do not have the treatment this time around. Yeah. I think they were looking to make that treatment a little bit more special. That was one of the pieces of feedback we got for the original Eldraine. Let's see. Next up. Ian, maybe you can take this one. How does an adventure legendary creature work in the command zone?
Oh man, you're really putting me on the spot here, Blake, with the commander rules questions. I think it works mostly the way that you would expect. If you're casting it, if you've already sent it on an adventure and then you're casting it from exile, actually, that's a great question. I'm not exactly that interacts with commander tax. That's a really good question there.
I believe the answer is that if you cast the spell, which you can cast from the command zone, and it goes to exile for adventure, that's not your command zone, so it does not get the tax to cast the creature. But then when the creature dies, if you go to pay, for example, the adventurous, actually, let's put Baluna up on the screen, Sean, if you could, so we can actually talk through an example. Okay, so let's say Baluna is your commander. You cast Seek Thrills. First time you cast it, it costs 5 mana. Baluna goes to exile as an adventure. You can then cast it from the exile zone for 3 mana. Commander tax does not apply at that point because it has not gone to the command zone. Baluna then dies, changes zones, whatever. You send it back to the command zone. If you now want to cast Seek Thrills it's going to cost you 7 mana. If you want to cast
Oh,
Baluna
okay.
from the command zone, it's going to cost you 5. However, if you cast Seek Thrills for 7 mana, put Baluna in the Adventure Exile zone, it'll then only cost 3. I am not a rules manager. That may not be exactly correct, but I believe that is how that works.
You're right, Blake. Did a good job explaining that, right? So it's if you're casting it after it's already been on an adventure, you can avoid the commander tax, but either way, you'll have to pay the commander tax to either cast it from your command zone straight up or to get it into the exile
John.
zone by casting the adventure.
Yep, absolutely. All right.
You previewed that a little earlier.
Next up, let's see. Can I run Greymond and Rick Grimes in my commander deck since they have different names? No. So the way that the universes within cards work is that there's an indicator in the lower left that says the collector number equals the secret layer number, which indicates that they are the same card. So if you have Greymond and Rick Grimes, you can only run one of them in their commander deck. For all intents and purposes, as far as the game rules are concerned, they are the same card. Sarah, question for you. How does the art team decide the different numbers of art treatment a card receives?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think it's based on rarities of cards have something to do with it, and story highlights have something to do with it. It kind of just depends set to set, what we're feeling like has the most resonance within the world. This Enchanting Tales, because it has such strong roots.
I wonder,
in,
Tortoise, is she a changeling?
Storytelling. We went really wild with it.
Is she related to Zam?
So it really just kind of it's part of the development set of how much resonance there is.
It's been bugging me this whole stream.
Next question. Let's see. Oh, where'd it go? It was a question about whether the anime versions of Enchanted Tales are only on Mythics. The answer is no. They are mostly on the Mythics, but there are some rares that have anime and confetti foil versions. I will say that all anime versions have a confetti foil version as well. There are, let me get the count here real quick, 20 cards that get the anime and confetti foil treatment. That one's that.
Agreed, Magus.
Let's see. Next question. How many different Enchanting Tales cards are there? Great. There are 20 that get the anime treatment. I guess I might as well just finish that out and talk about how many there are overall. And the answer to that is...
It's 63.
It is 63. Sarah got it. Well done. I happen to have the list up in front of me. So,
Sure.
63. Could you please clarify the reasoning behind banning Spreading Seas? It's not as clear as the other 4 you mentioned. I'm sure the Arena team will share some of that thought process later on, but I know that in the notes that I saw, the reasoning for Spreading Seas and Blood Moon were the same, that messing with mana is not something they're super interested in Historic. Obviously, one does all lands, one just does one land. But that was the reasoning there. I'm sure the Arena team will talk
True, Magus.
Where can we find the anime cards? Again, if you head to dailymtg.com, they will. There's a Collecting Wilds of Eldraine article that's going to give you the most detailed information on where and how to find everything. There are graphics and images and all of that sort of jazz. Definitely head there. Let's see. Will there be serialized cards in Wilds of Eldraine? No. Let's see. Will
No
the Walking
serial
Dead
cards.
cards be in foil? No. I don't know the answer to this one. Ian or Sarah, maybe you know it. Is this the first time a legendary creature has an adventure?
Yes, I believe that is the case.
Yeah, because
Was-
we had to make a new version of that frame for this set
Okay.
to account for that. Mhm.
Great. Was that an intentional, like, Ian, was that a next step in, we made these adventure cards are things we want to do. We want to do multicolor. We want to do legendary creatures in adventure. Was that intentional? Was it something that just came with the story of the set? How did that come about?
Yeah, kind of both. In the case of Balloona Grand Squall that we saw earlier, very much an intentional, hey, we want to have a legend very neatly interacts with the adventure type. In the case of Kellen that we also saw earlier, that was more of just a story thing. Kellen being very central to the story of Wilds of Eldraine and being kind of an adventure. We thought adventure would be a great mechanic to represent, and is a tweet.
Yep. All right. We are just about out of time. I'll try to get to whatever questions we can. Will Pyroblast be reprinted in the main set? No, that is just a promo. That is not coming to standard. The art swap on Wicked and Curse, is that an error on the slide, or will the tokens also have the art swap like was shown? What was shown on the screen is what was printed. So they will be different. If you like that art and art style, tune in and are looking for different specialized tokens. Here's a little tease for next week. We're gonna show off something cool in that realm on next week's weekly MTG show. So stay tuned for that. Ian, I know the courts got ruined after the invasion, but will knights still have a decent representation in the set?
Yeah, great question. So that's something that we did think and talk a lot about. There's not as much of of the sort of Arthurian courts and knights and things like that in the set. The main themes go and the mechanics go, but we did make sure to have that still represented. So there are definitely a lot of knight creature types. Not a lot of mechanical interactions with knight as a creature, so you're not just like giving you bonuses for having lots of knights, but there are lots of individual words, other references to the courts as well throughout the set.
Yep. Let's see, other questions. Sarah, are the confetti foil? I think we just said this, but are the confetti foil treatments only for the anime art versions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I do see some questions about other sets in chat. Just note we're sticking to Wilds of Eldraine this time, so I'm not trying to ignore you. Some of these questions are good, but we can talk about them in a future show. Great question, and I know Sarah wanted to talk about these too. What about the basic lands in the set? Yeah, Sarah wanted to talk about these and talk about some of the fantastic art on these. So, producer Sean, if we can pull the basic lands up on the screen, and let's see, and we'll get those up in a moment. As he's looking those, will there be other Omen Path travelers besides Trajan the Vedalken? So for those who may not have noticed, so our blue-green signpost legend is from Ravnica. And one of the changes in the Omen Path arc that we are entering is that non-planeswalkers now have the paths and means to travel between worlds through the Omen Path. So we've seen the Vedalken. So I don't know, Sarah, Ian, do you know if we're going to see any other Omen Path travelers in this set?
I'll defer to Ian on that one.
I know the answer to that off the top of my head. Troyan was the one that I was thinking of when the question was first. So I don't remember additional beyond that. I don't want to spoil anything or comment on anything that I'm sure of. So all I can say is stay tuned to the story, and there might be some surprises there for you.
Yeah. All right. There are a number of people asking about Historic Brawl and what is banned there. Stay tuned for the Arena team. We'll talk about the banned cards on social later in the day once the 6th card has been revealed. So head to the Arena Twitter account for that. All right, let's see. Let's see. Sean, do we have those basic lands coming up? All right. So, okay, Ian, this is a question for you. I saw it a couple different ways in the format. So the last time we were at Eldraine, there was a heavy monocolored theme. So we saw a lot of cards with three colored mana symbols. In this one, it looks like we're focusing on colored pairs to tell each of the stories. Was that an intentional shift? Was there any consideration to the monocolored theme this time around?
Yeah, great question. Also something we talked about a lot internally as well. Kind of touches on the earlier question about the courts and knights as well. We knew that this time with returning to the second time around, we wanted more of an emphasis on the fairy tale stories rather than Arthurian knights and court. That put more of an emphasis on the fairy tale aspect of the world here. That being said, there are, as I mentioned earlier, some references to the courts, some references to knights and things along those lines. But mechanically, there is not a strong representation of caring about monocolor as the original Throne of Eldraine.
All right. Producer Sean has let me know that we have those basic lands to talk about. So we're going to throw those up on stream, and then Sarah can just go to town.
Check out that
thanks,
forest.
Producer Sean. So
Nice.
these are really special. They're
forest
all
hole.
created by the same artist.
Exactly. Butthole forest.
Based out of Mumbai. And hear me now and believe me later, but these are only made out of paper.
That's kind of cool.
They build boxes, essentially, and they layer paper, like shadow box style. And then they light it very, very, very carefully.
Mountain Dr. Jones.
And they photograph it.
Right.
And that's how they get these images. It's really hard to believe. The more you zoom in, it gets even harder to
James
believe
Bond
that's how they
Forest.
produce these
Yep.
because they're so intricate and there's so much depth to them. They're just absolutely magical in the process that the two of them work in and how they make these. And they were so great to work with. They'd never done anything for Magic before, so of course working in kind of these monocolors and like hitting our basic land colors was a little bit of a challenge for them, but they rose to it really well. And just like all those like tiny little ladders in the tangle span of the mountain and the roots of the trees in the swamp and the even the feeling of the mist in the plains piece. They just really I find them endlessly
What's that? I missed it.
Because I think
You
it's
can hear
impossible.
it
It's
just,
kind of impossible to believe looking at them.
Oh, I know, every time, dude.
Physical, it's layers and layers of paper.
I like everyone else was kind of blown away by these when I first saw them, but I just assumed that they were paintings. That someone just did them, in their normal art.
They're
style.
AI
But,
generated.
them being
Chat
shadow boxes
GPT.
is incredible.
Right.
Yeah. And they make the paper themselves too. Every part of it. It's not just that they, have it laying around.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Incredible.
All right. Next up, so Ian, we have some questions about the rules around role tokens. Now, again, if you head to dailympg.com, there will be a mechanics article that dives into the rules. But let's chat about them a little bit. So, first of all, you can only have one role on a given creature. How does that work, Ian, for roles that you control versus your opponent controls? For example, can you have two roles on a creature if two different players control them?
Short answer is yes. So
yes, Brian.
Is you can have one role per player per creature.
Okay.
So the same creature can have 5 roles and rolls as well.
Gotcha. So if you curse an opponent's creature, they can then turn it into a sorcerer as well, and you can have a cursed sorcerer, and fun times are had by all. Let's see. Next question: are we going to have battles in this set? No, they're not in this set.
No.
That no.
One trick pony. Sorry.
How about them?
Let's see.
Yeah.
I think we've answered a number of these questions. So I'm seeing a bunch of questions about serialized cards, that sort of thing. And we have discussed those, so we're not going to jump back to them.
Didn't you say there wasn't any?
Will the goose mother's existence be explained? Yeah, we'll explain it at some point.
We just felt like
I love that
making
people
Nightmare
have
Fuel.
grabbed onto the Goose Mother. It was one of the first pieces of art we showed for Wilds of Eldraine, and people seem to love it.
My other favorite is the sheep bee.
The sheep bee. I don't think we've seen that one yet.
I can't remember which card it's in that you were talking about, but it's also a little, in one of the anime cards you can see them. It's
Just
like
a
nice
tiny
little bumblebee that looks
yeah,
like a
that's
sheep.
right. There is a little sheepy. Now, Sarah, you did want. We've had some questions about anime card art. Let's. I know you wanted to talk about some of the art for some of the other Enchanting Tales that we revealed in the debut. So, producer Sean, maybe we could throw a couple of those up on the screen for Sarah to. Yeah, there we go. Prismatic Omen.
Oh yeah, this is a really special one because you can see in the art style is really clear and strong in this piece because of the shapes of those trees, right? They're basically just kind of half circles, but it's in the layering of the color on top of those half circles that turns them into trees that are, that our mind can see. And the rainbow, especially, hey, there's our Goose Mother. The artist was really excited to get a chance to draw this. It's such a fun, different take on it. And then there's little baby geese, also goslings. Pretty exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, and here's some knights, aggravated assault. This piece in particular, I really love what the artist did with the sky. There's so much like movement in this piece. They are like charging forward, but then you can see those like the lines, the white lines in the sky. Like that's not a thing in life, but it just makes the piece feel so stylized and so beautiful and so considered. Ristic study, this little mermaid in her little grotto, studying her.
So I was going to say Ariel reading a book.
Piece of art by Serena Malian. These are all, you can't quite see it maybe on screen, but these are all full art, full vertical art. There's like slight transparency in the text box there. Mm-hmm. So behind the text box, there's all kind of little treasures that she's collected in her grotto.
Yeah. Related question: will Enchanted Tales and special guests be coming to Arena? So special guests is something we announced for future sets at Gen Con. Different from Enchanting Tales. Enchanting Tales is a bonus sheet. Special guests is a different sort of thing. We'll talk more about special guests as we get closer to the sets that contain those. But for Enchanting Tales specifically, yes, they are coming to Arena. Next up, Ian. Oh, I think this is going to be the last question. We are out of time. Ian, there's only one Planeswalker in this set, which is a first for us in a long time. So it's one Planeswalker versus previous sets, which had usually around 3. Did that affect overall set design in any way?
I would say not overall set design as a whole, but it did mean that we put special care into the one Planeswalker card we have in the set.
Just saying, Tortoise.
Rather unique one is what I will leave it at for now.
A little bit. Could be related.
All right.
Could be.
Well, that is our time. I want to first of all thank Sarah and Ian for coming on the stream and talking about
she's a changeling.
Wilds of Eldraine previews are running today through next week. We'll have the full card image gallery on the 24th. That's a slight shift from what we talked about earlier with it going up on the 25th. We moved it up to the 24th. So look for the full card image gallery then. If you're looking for more details about anything that we talked about on this stream in the debut, head to dailymtg.com. We'll have a collecting article. There's mechanics. There's all kinds of detailed information there for anyone who wants to run through all of that. Otherwise, look for more previews all throughout the internet. You can look at the Wilds of Eldraine Where to Find article for a list of outlets that will be previewing stuff on certain days. So check that out. Otherwise, I've been Blake Rasmussen, and thank you for joining us. We will see you next week.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
That was funny. That Zam Wessel you brought up, and her last name is Wassel.
Yeah, no, it is spelled different. This one is Wessell, but I mean, come on.
It's so damn close. It's so close. I knew she was a lizard folk.
Yeah, something. All right. Let's see if we can actually slow roll some of that, because that first 9 minutes, there's like, oh, look at this one. It's like, whoa, dude.
Oh, chill, bruh.
Chill, relax.
All right, they're still on the leaks for Mythic spoiler.
Oh yeah,
Or
there's
Magic
gonna
spoiler.
be all sorts of leaky leaks today.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
All right, I got one up here.
Oh, bruh.
All the leaky leaks. You finally slow down on Ashiok. They showed it a couple times, but all right.
God dang Ashiok, I tell you what.
Yeah. You pay life while you're wait. Pay life. Huh?
Think he's on the other phone.
Who? Oh, Tortoise?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm here.
No, it wasn't Tortoise. That was weird.
Virtue of Knowledge, is that new? I know some of these we saw a little bit earlier.
So I like that that mass reanimate spell. That thing's awesome.
Which one?
The black mass reanimate. The
Oh yeah.
Knight's Conquest.
Okay, so they haven't updated quite yet. Well, maybe they did.
Yeah, there's the fairy queens or whatever they call them right at the top there.
Yeah, I see. Fairy Noble,
Hilda, Agatha, and whatever.
You got to be amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so there's the fortress. We didn't see that one earlier. Ah, there we go. Restless Cottage. So 4/4 black green horror. Okay. Whenever it attacks, create a food token. Exile up to one target card from a graveyard. Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. It's not too bad.
Man lands.
Yeah.
All about them, man. I'm all about them.
Oh yeah, these ones are actually look aggressively costed to be good.
Yeah.
Like the last time we had man lands, it looked like they tried making them safe and not too busted.
Yeah, but we're back on Eldraine. There's no safety. Where's
Polluted Bonds?
Yeah, that's a reprint from Shadowmoor from the original
Wow.
Morrowind.
Yeah.
That art is cool.
Yeah, it's a mean card.
Drain somebody whenever a land ETBs under their control. Like,
Yeah.
Go ahead, ramp green deck. I dare you.
Blood Moon coming back again.
Blood Moon back again.
Blood Moon's back again. Ba-na-na-na-na-na.
All right, so we have different art on the Manlands. We'll be seeing. Okay. No. Interesting.
Yes.
Was there anything that you guys wanted to? Huh?
Yeah, Sir Ginger, that artifact. Go scroll down a little bit. I didn't get to see that one. There we go.
Yeah,
the
that one
ginger
flashed by super quick.
Yeah. Huh. Anti-planeswalker.
Planeswalker. Huh.
Anti-planeswalker. Stop the planeswalker.
That's right. Hey.
Oh, into any graveyard from the battlefield. +1/+1 counter and scry 1. That'll work. That'll work.
Damn.
That's combolicious.
Yes, it is. I like it. 2 mana, 3/1. I'll do it.
It's like they wanted it to be aggressive.
It's a ginger.
I mean, this one could be Rakdos Rats, but I don't know, man. I like that you're making tokens, but I think he belongs more in the 99, you know?
Yeah, but he's still kind of cool because
yeah,
you can just sacrifice your non-token rats and get other rats.
Right.
So, Blood Artist.
definitely some interesting ones. This Grim Search is a kind of really more complicated tutor, but
Complicated.
you can get draw 2 cards and lose 2 life too, so that's pretty cool.
At instant speed, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nuts.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at common, so that's even better.
A lot of cards like that are usually found at common.
Yeah. They like to put the good ones there.
Mm-hmm. What's the end?
The end.
Spell costs 2 less to cast if your life total is 5 or less. All right, so Faithful Hour, basically. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Search its control's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that permanent and exile them. Then draws cards equal. Wow, you can even do that on yourself if you're just looking to get refreshment in your hand and getting rid of a planeswalker you don't need or something. Or if you have like a Relentless Rat deck and you're trying to mill yourself out in that kind of style, oh, you can draw a bunch of cards. This card is going to have some interesting oddball synergies.
Plus it's at instant speed, so that's really fun.
Right. So imagine you have like a Relentless Rat deck, or one of those decks where you can have any amount of creatures in there. And you're running a self-mill strategy, and you have this card in your hand, and you target your Relentless Rat, and you exile like 40 Relentless Rat stacks, and you draw that many cards. Then you have like, say, Laboratory Maniac on the battlefield. That's almost an instant win condition in an oddball strategy.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is how we do it. This is.
I just like the little raging battle mouse. It's good.
It is.
Mm.
And your second spell costs 1 less to cast, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What's that Thunderous Debut?
That was the one where you put in the
you get to
sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token. You can pop a couple creatures in there. Boom, baby.
Boom. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
They're printing sleight of hand in standard. Nice.
Yeah. Definitely some nice juicy coming in here.
Yeah.
It looks like they're trying to revitalize standard.
Yep. Maybe it'll have some effect on Pioneer meta as well. That's really what I'm looking forward to, because screw Mono Green Devotion.
Oh yeah, Mono Green Devotion.
Dude, the Lich Knight's Conquest, though, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be using that for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure. I got a Tesa deck I've already got planned out. I'm gonna put that card right into.
Beseech the Mirror.
I tried. It didn't listen.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting card. Heavy in the mana, the black mana cost. But, like, I can see this being played. Because if you pay the bargain cost, you can cast the spell you tutor.
Right. And that so it's kind of like a slightly different Diabolic Tutor, but you get to cast it for free if it's cheap. So if you bargain it.
In a Golgori deck, you cast Beseech the Mirror, sacrifice whatever, search your library for Tooth and Nail, get 2 big stompy stomps.
Yep. Or what I'm thinking, dude, get oh crap, what is that? Stupid card. Dagnabbit. It just left my head. I'll have to get back to you on it.
All right. What's the Elvish Archivist? Isn't that a reprint? Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, put 2+1 counters on Elvish Archivist. This ability triggers only once each turn. Sad. Whenever one or more enchantments enter the battlefield under your control, draw. Ooh, Tortoise.
Only once a turn, but still.
Tortoise needs the Elvish Archivist.
Yo.
Right.
I need 1, 2, 3 copies of that card.
100 copies.
It's like you have to read through the whole text to get to it, but it's an enchantress.
Mm.
Which that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are.
a 2-mana enchantress. I mean, go back down. Make sure I want to read the text at the bottom. Oh, it only triggers once each turn. God
Yeah.
darn it. It's still good, but they had to fix.
Garbage.
They had to make it fixed. Ooh, darn you,
All right,
wizard!
so the card I was thinking of, Birthing Pod, with that Beseech the Mirror.
Okay.
You can combo out with Birthing
Hey,
Pod.
Mateus, how you doing, bud?
Mateus.
Oh, you're welcome, Mrs. Hillbilly.
Virtue.
Oh, there you go. Seats the Mirror and Agila
Yes.
for Dravery and Grim Hireling. Ooh.
Yes. Game over. That can be really gross. I like it.
That Virtue of Knowledge is insane.
Hello.
Hello. Hello
Aloha.
from the other side. Did you see that? Did you read that Virtue of Knowledge?
Which
White
one?
blue standard Virtue of Knowledge. That blue one right there. It's adventure is fine. You get a copy activated trigger ability, which is good. But look at it's an enchantment.
It's
And
Panharmonicon.
Read the enchantment's ability. That's insane.
That's Panharmonicon on an enchantment that you can also do a single time Panharmonica. That's gross.
Wow.
You know, Azorius is gonna be nuts with Mom in the standard.
Yeah.
Oh.
Friggin' Spirited Companion. I draw 3 cards. What?
What?
Jeez.
God, dude.
You know, we're gonna have to coax DJ to play blue.
Not after he built his anti-blue deck.
Right?
Yeah. This one's weird though. Explain that top part for me, somebody.
If you would pay life while your library has at least that many cards in it, exile that many cards from the top of your library set. So imagine you have Phyrexian mana, right?
Okay.
Where you pay 2 life for the mana spell. Well, instead of paying 2 mana, you're exiling the top card of your libraries instead.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a really interesting card. And honestly, I want to use that with Crick, Son of Yawgmoth.
Oh.
And just pay life and exile my library and find a way to win at that point.
I mean, there's a self-mill strategies I was talking about earlier. Odd. It's an odd mill strategy. But but you're sacrificing cards from your library to speed up. But if you look at what it does, like the milling your cards, and you know there's ways to get exiled cards back, you're gonna have an interesting backdoorish mill strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it, like even if you have that guy you just mentioned his name, I can't think of his name. The guy where you can pay life equal
Crick.
to Crick,
Yep.
whatever. Son of Yawgmoth, yeah. Where you pay all your black pips by 2 life, but instead of milling your library, you can play Temporal Extortion, which costs 4 black and pay 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 8 life. So that's 8 cards to take an extra turn if your opponent wants to pay half their life. And then, man,
Yeah, ad nauseum. Ad nauseum is going to be nuts with that.
Oh yeah,
because I can just reveal cards and pay life, and now I have to exile a couple more cards, reveal the next one. Yeah, you just chew through your deck at instant speed.
Wow. Well, some fun stuff, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm definitely liking the price point compared to the last one.
Hype.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be at least a medium high power level set at minimum.
Yeah.
So it's got some
Right.
really cool.
I don't see anything
connotations.
like beyond broken yet. You know, maybe I'm just not seeing it yet.
That
Wow.
Virtue of Knowledge is going to be solid. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Which
that
one?
one's
The
The
Virtue,
Virtue
of
of
Knowledge
Knowledge,
is solid. That Moonshaker Cavalry, solid.
Moonshaker's insane. That the white
Crater.
crater hoof. Yeah, I guess it's more like a flying hoof behemoth at that point.
It should that should have been the original. Like Crater Hoof Behemoth should comes to power level wise should have been second after this card, but this card fixes a problem White has had, so that's pretty solid. You know, because White likes to spread.
Plus, it's in the right color for reanimation. White does have good reanimation spells and blink, and it's
and
on ETB effect, so you
not
can
only that,
blink that.
You're right. Not only that, with Abzan being the token colors, you got Crater Hoof and Moonshaker now. That's going to be a double win condition for that archetype. It's going to be solid, everybody. Solid. I mean, if you like ketchup, you're adding some hot sauce to this spice. Oh my God.
Brutal. Talon.
Right. Talon.
Yeah, this
Damn
set's
you with the ads.
damn you, Ed. Yeah, this set's solid all the way through.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a playable set, and that's what I like seeing more than like I don't mind reprints and stuff, and I don't mind like other things that go on. The thing I care about when it comes to block sets is if they're playable,
Yes,
and like fit a theme, and that's what I love about this set so far. Is it fits a theme, it looks draftable, looks playable, and he even got rare lands. Like I was excited for March of the Machines, and I love March of the Machines as a set. But they didn't have the rare lands in the set, which was kind of upsetting. But still a good set overall. But this set looks very playable, not quirky to draft.
Yep. It's a decent land cycle. So man lands are always a good thing.
Right.
And it's something new. It's not like they went and did the check lands or any of that stuff in here. Just take the easy way out. They did something new, which I love that.
Oh yeah, and they made them good. Like man, I'm gonna need a copy of the Restless Vinestock. For sure. And that Restless Biovac might need that too. It's looking pretty solid because like Restless Vinestock is gonna be good in my my Voltron deck just as a creature option.
Right.
Yeah. And it fixes land. Fixes.
Right. So it's good. Solid set so far, I gotta say.
Oh yeah.
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. We're flipping pancakes good.
Yep. We're flipping some pancakes. We're adding some maple syrup on there. Boys, we're gonna break out the butter.
Speak to me a little more kindly and maybe you'll get some bacon.
There you
That's
go.
right. That's right. Print me another high-powered card, high-velocity card that I'm gonna get excited for, and there we go. Bacon and sausage too.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Going for that deluxe McDonald's breakfast. Look out.
That's right. I'm all in.
Oh
well,
yeah.
I definitely see some fun playables. Excited for more. We'll probably have more spoilers for Thursday because we're gonna get a lot today, a lot more.
That red green card they spoiled today is gonna be good for you, DJ.
This one?
The Red Riding Hood?
Yeah, no. There's another one that
Agatha's pretty solid.
Yeah, no, but there's another red green creature, and it taps as a mana rock.
Oh yeah. I was just looking at that one earlier. Oh, where'd she go?
The other way.
Okay, fine.
Where'd she go?
What in the hell? Where'd she go?
Yeah, she disappeared on me. I don't think they have it on here.
Maybe you just need to refresh the page. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll do that.
But yeah, so the fact that you got it, because it costs 2 mana, it has a weird ability, then you can tap it to add colors. That John right there, that red-blue card, that's going to be nuts. That is it right there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
It's
That's
uncommon, and it does that.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's showing you the
It's
power
not-
level of the set.
I know which one you're
Yeah,
talking about too, and it's not on here. But yeah,
Yeah.
it costs 2, and you can do a green or red. It's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm. You know that Ice Queen's 4/4 tokens better be like snowmen or something.
Right. Better look like Olaf.
All right.
They're all Olafs. Yeah.
It's a white and blue elemental creature token, or put a +1 counter on each creature. That's gonna be good. Oh,
Right.
the blink
To then
deck.
draw. What the hell?
Oh, I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need to get some cards from the set.
Yep.
Oh my lord! And it's all Robert's fault too.
I know. I know that guy. That guy just loves magic.
Right?
Yeah. Mythic Spoiler doesn't have it yet. You're right. It's in the video, but
Damn,
very good.
Mythic Spoiler.
Yeah.
Catch up, Mythic Spoiler.
That's
We're
right.
like, we're going as fast as we can.
Wow. Well, good times. Thank you, every guys, for joining us. Hydra and Tanglewire.
Yeah, that's right. Hilda and
Not
Tanglewire.
Hilda, the Ice Queen.
Hilda,
and
yeah.
Tanglewire, yeah.
Yeah, finally a use for Tanglewire again.
Woo,
Poor
woo.
Tanglewire. Best card in Nemesis, $15.
Robert never gets enough of playing with his Tanglewire.
That's right.
I'm doing it right now, bro.
Oh, easy.
I'm removing counters right now to tap down creatures.
Right.
That's right. All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. I know looks like they're still going. Are they?
Ooh, sorry, I'm reading. Each creature that's enchanted by an aura you control can't attack you or a planeswalker you control. Beginning of your end step, each opponent loses X life and gain X life for X number of auras. I'm gonna need that black-white card too for my cube.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Insane. Insane for the nerdy enchantment auras player. The Voltron.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
This set's awesome.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah,
not
for
gonna
sure.
be $20 a pack either.
Yeah. No.
Just the
Five-
collectors will be.
Just the collectors. If you want your popcorn foil cards.
Yeah, they someone got crazy with the glitter in the warehouse. Oh, that's a new foil style.
Prime
Reminds me
Fortress
of the
gonna explode.
1970 ceilings.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Torch is gonna explode. I think it already did, Prime.
It did in his pants, Prime. I can't wait for you also, Hillbilly.
It's gonna be fun, man.
But it's gonna be nuts.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. A little bit later on tonight, well, I have something from Bunch of Jank, and I don't know. He threw me a whole box, so I don't know what else he threw in there. But I did get something from Anger. We might check that out later on tonight. So hopefully I will see you guys later on today. Otherwise, we'll see you live for MTG Roundtable every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So definitely see you then, but maybe see you sometime tonight. We'll see what happens.
Let's see
All
how
right.
crazy DJ gets.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining, and we'll catch you next time. We got to get on to that danger, high voltage meeting. So like, buying stuff.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Everybody's gonna dance.